Hey, this is Dan. Let's see what's happening with Moderna and BioNTech. When I follow a stock, I first look at the fundamental analysis, and then I keep track of macroeconomic events that might affect the stock price. And then finally, I apply technical analysis to guide my day-to-day, minute-to-minute trading strategies. At this point, I'm still holding on to my previous predictions of Moderna being $150 to $170 a share and BioNTech at $110 to $130 a share by the end of March 2021. Of course, those prices will be subject to short-term technical fluctuations. I'd like to mention that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm sharing my analysis and my stock trading strategies for educational and entertainment purpose only. You should make your own decisions regarding buying or selling stocks and should check with your financial advisors before you do so. Let's look at the significant events that happened since December 30th. On January 8th, which is today, the UK approved Moderna COVID vaccine, which is an equivalent of the emergency use authorization in the US. And also today, an in vitro study shows Pfizer BioNTech vaccine is effective against the new virus mutations found in UK and in South Africa, which is good news for BioNTech. The EU announced that they signed additional contract with Pfizer BioNTech for 300 million more vaccine doses. Again, that's a big boost to BioNTech. The Sinovac vaccine is found to be 78% effective based on trials conducted in Brazil. On December 30th, the UK approved the AstraZeneca vaccine. Let's talk about this new strain of virus in the UK that everybody's so worried about. It may be as much as 70% more transmissible, and the virus is spreading quickly around the world. Cases have been found in the UK, US, Spain, Finland, Sweden, Japan, France, and other countries. Moderna and BioNTech are testing their vaccines against a new mutation, and we'll have answers in a few weeks. As I mentioned previously, that the in vitro study showed that the BioNTech vaccine seems to be effective against the new virus mutations. We'll probably soon hear from Moderna about this as well. The UK started vaccinating people on December 8th with the BioNTech vaccine and has covered so far 2.2% of the population. Israel started vaccinating people a little bit later. They started on December 19th, but they moved quickly and have already covered 17.6% of the population. Hopefully, pretty soon we will see the daily new cases go down in these two countries, which will be the ultimate proof of the effectiveness of the COVID vaccines. Let's look at the new cases in the UK. This is a chart from the website worldometer.com. As you can see, the cases have been growing quickly, probably because of the new, very contagious virus strain. As of yesterday, we finally saw a decrease, but that's only one day. I will continue to track the progress in the UK. Hopefully, we will see additional decreases from day to day. This is the chart of Israel. Again, the cases went up quickly in the last couple of weeks. As of the last 2-3 days, we've been seeing a decline. Let's hope this trend will continue. Let's compare the different COVID vaccines currently available in the market. First of all, the Moderna and the BioNTech vaccines are about 95% effective. The AstraZeneca vaccine is 92% and 90% effective. Not as good as the Moderna or the BioNTech vaccine, but it sells at a lower price at only $10 a dose, whereas Moderna's vaccine sells for about $36 a dose, and the BioNTech vaccine sells for about $30 a dose. The Gamaleya Sputnik vaccine from Russia is said to be 91.4% effective, according to its manufacturer. The Sinovac vaccine made by China is said to be 91.25% effective based on a test done in Turkey, and is said to be 78% effective based on a test done in Brazil. The traditional flu vaccines are only 40 to 60% effective. That means the vaccines developed by Moderna and BioNTech are indeed truly impressive. That's probably due to the revolutionary messenger RNA technology that they use. With the COVID virus mutating so quickly, actually Moderna and BioNTech might be the best defense against any new virus strains in the future. Let's look at the chart for Moderna. This is the hourly chart for the last 2-3 weeks. As we mentioned in the December 30th video, there was this downward trending channel, which was very bearish. Finally, in the last 3-4 days, the price broke out of that channel and seems to be moving up again. Although at this point, the price might break down and start heading down again, and then this small bullish run might become what they call a bear flag. Or it'll continue this trend to go up. It really depends on what catalysts we see in the next few days. I'll be talking about a different catalyst that'll move the price up or move the price down in the next few days. Let's zero in to the last 2-3 days to see what's happening. As you can see, the price movement has been pretty much bounded by the Bollinger Bands. In addition to using the Bollinger Band, I often use the candlestick signals, the MACD indicator, as well as the RSI indicator to guide my minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour trading strategies. For example, when it comes to the candlestick signals, we have quite a few very strong signals that correctly predicted the future. We see this one black cross signal, which was very bearish, and it did lead to a sharp decline of the stock price. And then we saw this Williams fractal, which was a bullish signal at that point, and sure enough, the stock price turned bullish. And then we had the Marubozu signal, also correctly predicted the movement in the next couple of hours. And then the Williams fractal here, an engulfing signal, a bearish signal, another bearish signal. That's a double whammy, 3 outside down. And then the Williams fractal pointing up in the last hour or so before I copied this chart. If these candlestick signals are confirmed by the MACD signal, that'll be a very strong indication that we should either buy or sell with swing trading. There's another MACD signal that correctly predicted the upward movement, another MACD signal that correctly predicted the downward movement. And then we have probably a beginning of a MACD signal that hopefully will point to a bullish movement. Occasionally, these signals are also confirmed by an RSI signal. Let's look at the support and resistance levels. I see support at 110, 107, and 103, and I see resistance at 116, 119, and 121. Let's look at the BioNTech chart. This is the hourly chart for the last 2-3 weeks. We also mentioned in the BioNTech video posted on January 4th that there was a downward trending channel. Fortunately, the price broke out of that channel pretty definitively in the last 3-4 days and has been heading up. And of course, with the events that happened in the last few days, especially with the 300 million additional doses ordered by the EU, that really helped propel the stock price upward. At this point, of course, the price can turn downward again, or it'll go upward. I would say at this point, it was most likely the price will go up as long as BioNTech and Pfizer continue to secure new contracts from the various countries. Let's deep dive into the last 2-3 days. Again, the candlesticks have been bounded pretty much by the Bollinger Bands. We see some pretty strong candlestick signals, starting with this one, Marubozu, that correctly predicted the upward movement. Then we had this Williams fractal that predicted downward movement, another Williams fractal that predicted the upward movement, another Williams fractal, a hammer, Williams fractal again, another Williams fractal, and then one black claw, which is a very bearish signal. So far, it hasn't really pushed the stock price down too much yet. Let's see whether the stock price will continue to hold up in spite of the one black cross signal. And then, of course, some of these signals are confirmed by the MACD signal. Here, there. You can see how the stock price turned at those particular junctures. And that's how I use it to guide my trading strategies. And occasionally, if you have a very strong RSI signal, such as here, saying that the stock was overbought, then that's a good point for me to sell. Let's look at the support and resistance levels. I see supports at 92, 85, and 80, and resistance at 100, 105, and 109. Of course, we need to be mindful of the Bollinger Bands, the RSI signals, as well as the MACD signals when it comes to support and resistance. Let's look at the different catalysts that will cause the price to go up or go down. The following catalysts will cause the price to go up. For example, if we see additional contracts signed by the various countries for more vaccines, or when we see reduction in daily new COVID cases in the UK, Israel, and the US after people have been vaccinated, because that'll prove the effectiveness of the vaccines. Or if we see failures of other vaccines that are in development, that'll reduce the competition. The following catalysts will cause the price to go down. For example, if the vaccines turn out to be less effective against the new virus mutations, that'll be very bad news for the world and also for Moderna and BioNTech. Or if you see the success of other less expensive vaccines, which will increase the competition. Or if we find severe adverse reactions to the vaccines. I will be monitoring these potential events in the next few weeks and will create additional videos, or I will post update notes below the existing videos. This is a quick recap of what I showed in the December 16 video for Moderna. In that video, I show how I used the average PE ratio from 9 different pharmaceutical companies and applied the average ratio to Moderna, and then I used the projected sales of the COVID vaccine to arrive at my expected stock price of $150 to $170 a share. Likewise, this is a recap of the evaluation I did for BioNTech in the January 4th video, in which I arrived at the expected stock price of $110 to $130 a share. This is a quick recap of the price comparison I did between Moderna, BioNTech, Regeneron, and Amgen. I did this comparison in the December 30th Moderna video, and I show the same comparison again in the January 4th BioNTech video. From this comparison, I came to the conclusion that the stock prices for Moderna and BioNTech will start going up in February and March timeframe. And sure enough, BioNTech has been picking up nicely, and I think Moderna should not be too far behind. Again, I'd like to mention that I'm holding on to my prediction of Moderna being at $150 to $170 a share, and BioNTech at $110 to $130 a share by the end of March. Of course, it's subject to short-term technical fluctuations. This about wrapped up my video for now. When I see any significant changes in the next few days, I will post a new video. And before I post a new video, I will also add updates below this video like that. If you are interested, please click the like, subscribe, and notification buttons so that you'll be notified when I post a new video in the next few days. If you have a few more seconds, hang in there. I'd like to provide you with some additional reference information. In the meanwhile, I'd like to wish you the best of luck with your financial investments. If you wonder when the market is going to crash again, check out a video on this topic in my playlist. The following is a list of the analytical tools I use and the information I look at every day to develop my investment strategies. After doing hours of research, I summarize my findings into a few minutes of video for you. Links are provided below this video for you to learn more about RSI, Bollinger Bands, the role of the Federal Reserve Bank, etc.